you're watching Lord of Lords with me, Radhika Tongar, and unfortunately we start the show with the disappointing news that Shikhar Dhawan, the man who's known for ICC events, who's been the highest run getter for India in the past 5 major tournaments, which include 3 Champions Trophies, which include 2 Champions Trophies, a World Cup, as well as 2 Asia Cups. The man who we were hoping will recover in time towards the business end of the tournament has been unfortunately ruled out. Boria Majumdar joins us from Southampton, where the team is in fact training for their game against Afghanistan, which is on Saturday. Now, Boria, the team of course gave Shikhar Dhawan as much time as was needed, multiple consultations with experts so that they could probably narrow down that injury time. If he would have healed in the next 2 weeks, the team would have persisted with him. But it's been said that he's out till mid-July is when, the fracture will probably take that long. And it is an unfortunate news. Like I was saying, the fact that he has a great partnership with Rohit Sharma, the fact that he loves the big stage, India will miss Shikhar Dhawan towards the business end of the tournament.
Yes, India will miss Shikhar Dhawan. I mean, he's a big match player, and if you think from his personal standpoint also, Radhika, it's a big blow. He's won the Champions Trophy, as you said, he's won the Asia Cup, but he's not won a World Cup. 2011 he missed when he was in the team. This time round, perhaps, given his age, this is his last World Cup. Vikrant, this is sad for a player. You've played the game almost at the highest level. You know Shikhar Dhawan very well. You've covered so many World Cups. From the perspective of a player, it's a huge loss.
It is, and as you said, Boria, this was a golden chance for Shikhar Dhawan to be a part of the World Cup winning team, because this Indian team has the potential to win the World Cup. At the same time, you can't do anything now. What happens now? I'm sure the team would have absorbed the initial shock which they got at the Oval. Considering KL Rahul, the way he batted in Manchester in the game against Pakistan, I think half the problem is resolved. Now the problem is, do they go in with Vijay Shankar at number 4 or do they go in with Rishabh Pant at number 4? That's something that they'll have to ponder over the next few days.
I think it will be Vijay Shankar, because, they went with Shankar, and from what I get is Vikrant and I were talking about it, they think that Vijay Shankar has a bit of a Yuvraj Singh kind of bat swing, and he's as talented. We've got to wait and see if that talent comes to really, to fruition. But at this point in time, perhaps, at least for the next game, it will be Vijay Shankar, Radhika.
Boria, we will talk about the team combinations, and of course you've mentioned Rishabh Pant, how elated he will be, even though no player really wants to get into the squad behind an injury, but it's a great moment for Rishabh Pant. We'll talk about all of that. Do stay on with us, but we've mentioned Shikhar Dhawan and the fact that he is ruled out of the World Cup. Let's just show you what a big loss it really is for Team India and what Shikhar Dhawan has accomplished over the years when it comes to big tournaments like the World Cup.
The medical team has come to the conclusion that Dhawan will not be able to fully recover from the injury, and as such, it would be better to have his replacement in the team.
Shikhar has a fracture of the base of his first metacarpal on his left hand. Now, following several specialist opinions, he will remain in cast until July, mid-July, which rules him out of the ICC World Cup 2019.
Rishabh Pant was flown into England as cover for Dhawan and will now be formally drafted into India's 15-man squad.
We have requested for a replacement. I've written to ICC. We have requested for Rishabh Pant as a replacement.
Dhawan's is a big loss to India, but in KL Rahul, they have an ideal replacement at the top, and he did prove Dhawan's record in big tournaments that make him a force to reckon with. He is India's leading run getter in the last 5 major tournaments, starting with the 2013 Champions Trophy.
Boria, we were of course showing all our viewers how the team, consulted multiple doctors. We also know that innings that he played against Australia, he was struck on his hand when he was batting on some 30 odd, went on to make that 100. Virat Kohli, after that injury, also came out and said that Dhawan really wants to play. You spoke about the fact that this is probably his last World Cup, the last opportunity for him to win a World Cup title. India clearly one of the favourites to lift the trophy. Dhawan would have really tried, and it clearly looks like there is no way he'll be available. Otherwise, the indications that we were getting, the fact that he was at the training, multiple doctors were consulted. Virat Kohli said that he's really eager to play. It looked like he was hoping against hope that he will be available towards the business end.
No, you know, a fracture is a fracture. Let me explain to you what has happened. Vikrant's played the game. Look at his thumb. Okay, this is what happened. There is this joint, as you can see, the mid joint. If there is a fracture here or there's a hairline, you can actually put a pin here and numb this part, which means this thumb is numb. Okay, his is here, the joint which actually joins the thumb with the rest of his hand. So the fracture's here. So the moment the fracture's here, if you put a pin there, you put a pin here, your entire hand is numb. That's why Shikhar Dhawan can't play. You can't,
And
right?
these are not desperate measures, to be very honest. If it's a fracture, it's a fracture. And it's not just the healing. You've got to field after that. You know, you can still bat. But when you field, let's say hypothetically, if he goes out and fields in the slips and there's a catch, and the weather is very cold, mind you. So there's no way, you know, then his career would have ended. Then he was taking a career-threatening injury risk. But I think the team would have wanted him to stay on for the business end of the tournament. It's just that when they realized it's not going to be 2.5 weeks, it's going to be 3 weeks, beyond 4. Then they thought, yes, let's give it up. Because then at a later stage, you can't get Rishabh Pant in and put pressure onto that kid. If you have to play Rishabh Pant, you have to groom him now.
Absolutely correct. I mean, you know, they got Rishabh. BCCI has done it well. They got Rishabh Pant at the earliest. They've given him a week. He's gotten used to the conditions. He's been training with the team. Now you have a ready player. You have a ready player who you can inject into the team if need be against Afghanistan.
You know, Boria, we'll have to really see if Rishabh Pant does get that opportunity. You said, of course, Vijay Shankar will be in the squad as he did perform decently in the last outing, the last opportunity that he got. So it'll be unfair to probably change that. Of course, Shikhar Dhawan had that left-hand, right-hand combination working with Rohit Sharma at the top. That's not the slot that Rishabh Pant will take, but he is a left-hander. So a lot of things working in Rishabh Pant's favour. And it may be a loss for Shikhar Dhawan, but it clearly is a great opportunity for Rishabh Pant, who, according to many, should have been drafted in India's 15 right from the beginning. He wasn't. He's getting this opportunity now, and it clearly is his dream come true.
If opportunity comes, we are all looking at you as that X-factor player. Will you say that it will be the best ever opportunity, playing for India in a World Cup?
It will be a dream come true, because every player, so many players play cricket, but going to a World Cup and as taking a dream that you can make your team win this World Cup would be a different thing in my life, I guess.
I know for a fact that India is looking at you big time now, 50-over cricket, World Cup, going forward. Does that make you feel any pressure that the whole world is talking about how talented you are?
Sir, I don't focus on all this thing. I just try to learn each and every day when I go to the ground, learning from senior, learning by watching all the players playing against you. So I just want to learn, because as a youngster I want to improve myself as a cricketer each and every day. That's what I try to do.
The bar is very high for Rishabh Pant. I mean, we in the media have positioned you there. So do you deal with expectation yourself? I mean, what do you expect of Rishabh Pant?
Sir, as a cricketer and as a Rishabh Pant, I want to make my team win each and every game by myself for the team. That's what I think as a player, and I don't think about my personal things, how many runs I score, how do I play. I only think about one thing, that how can I make my team win this match.
Are you living a dream in the sense, how do you deal with yourself? Did you dream that you will be India wicketkeeper #1 in Test match cricket? You will be on the cusp of a World Cup dream. Did you dream that at 21 you will get all this?
No, sir. I always wanted to play for India. I always wanted to play Test cricket. I always wanted to do everything, but I am not thinking like that I'll do it in 21 or 31. I was just playing my game. I was just trying to express myself, taking my team home for winning matches. That's what I try to do. I'm not focusing on all this bigger picture that at 21 I'm doing all this thing. I'm just focusing on my game, trying to keep my head down and learn from everyone.
So Boria, clearly Rishabh Pant's dream has finally come true. He would have been heartbroken not being named in the original 15 when everybody thought he could be that X factor for India. He gets the opportunity now. And you mentioned Yuvraj Singh and you mentioned his comparisons to Vijay Shankar. In fact, Yuvraj Singh on his retirement speech said that he sees himself in Rishabh Pant. So that is the kind of caliber he has. Do you see him being drafted into the 11 anytime soon? Will he get his opportunity in this World Cup?
Back a punch. And Brathwaite doesn't have the pace.
I'll actually ask this of Vikrant because, you know, somebody who follows Rishabh Pant very, very more closely than I do. Somebody who knows Rishabh Pant much better than I do. Can Rishabh Pant make the team? Would you get him in the team? And, you know, you followed Rishabh Pant very closely.
I'll play him. I'll play him because, you know, if he's that talented, you would need somebody who can turn the game around. Vijay Shankar is solid. He'll give you that solidity. But again, neither Vijay Shankar nor Rishabh Pant have been tested when India 30 for 2. All the 3 games India have started well, so they've been able to build on. If I were to go in with Rishabh Pant, I'll play him in the game against Afghanistan, which is relatively easier, and then see how it goes. Vijay Shankar, of course, as you said, is an all-rounder. We haven't seen the kind of batsman that he's supposed to be, but he can bowl. And in these conditions, if he can bowl well, that's what the captain would need. So I think it'll be a tough call. Again, it'll depend on Virat. Does he want somebody who's an outright match winner, who can win you a game, lose you a game? That is Rishabh Pant. Or somebody who's very solid, Vijay Shankar.
You know, and just to add to that, Radhika, Kedar Jadhav was actually the day after the Pakistan match saying कि 4 मैच हो गया दादा मेरा बैटिंग नहीं आया. So that is the truth because he said to me he was on his way to London for a break. He said 4 मैच हो गया मेरा बैटिंग नहीं आया. So who knows?
Boria, at the rate that the World Cup is going and what we saw Owen Morgan do against Afghanistan, he may not get an opportunity and our top order might just get that 400 that everybody's been waiting for in this World Cup. We'll of course look at all those performances, but talking about Team India, staying with Team India, they're always a fun bunch, and especially when they are travelling. Yuzvendra Chahal with his mic is always roaming around trying to find somebody to talk to, and this time he caught hold of Hardik Pandya, whose love seems to have transferred from gold to diamond. Clearly, it is a happy bunch whenever they are travelling, and the way they are playing, they will seriously be a happy bunch. Their next opponents in the World Cup are Afghanistan, but what happened? There was a world record which was created against them, not something that they wanted. Really waiting for some brutal batting display at the 2019 World Cup. You got a glimpse of it from hosts England yesterday. Owen Morgan, after his knock, which included 17 sixes, a world record, said he, in his wildest dreams, had never imagined he could play a knock like that. Let's take a look at that spectacular effort from England captain Owen Morgan. Boria, we saw Rashid Khan's face there. One feels for him. Most runs conceded in the World Cup, most sixes hit off him, and he's got to face India next. England stopped at 397. Are you expecting something more from Team India?
Oh, wow. I thought you were asking me about Morgan. She's asking, can India get 400, cross the 397?
Saturday, I think they would.
Now, this man never says no. So he says they would. You know, he says India will with confidence.
17 sixes will be difficult for an individual batsman. 400 runs India will score.
400 India will score, 17 difficult. Yes, he played 17 sixes when he and I would play cricket in my terrace. Nasir Hussain hit 88 in his, in 88 sixes, 88 games, he hit 15 sixes rather, and this fellow hit 17. So Radhika, 400, if 400 comes true, then Vikrant Gupta is buying me something I can't say.
Anything.
Yes, we do expect something extraordinary from the Indian batsmen come Saturday. We're not taking any opponent lightly, is what Virat Kohli said. But after what England do, the Indian fans will want another lethal batting display from the Indian batsmen against Afghanistan. We will bring you all the updates from Team India, the Indian camp at the 2019 Cricket World Cup. But that's all that we've got for you from Lord of Lords today. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.